My wonderful mum visited recently, and instead of taking her to the places that everybody already knows about, I decided to take her somewhere a little bit different, and we headed to Aljezur. It's a little bit more wild, a bit rugged, and just really magical to explore. It felt like we had it almost to ourselves. It's been a while since I saw my mum. Actually not since October, just a little bit after I moved here in September. And when she said she was going to try and come and visit me and have a trip, I thought it would be really nice to go and explore some places that both of us haven't been before, especially that I haven't been before, so that we could have new experiences and new memories together. So I planned a little trip to Aljezur, and we stayed on Praia da Arrifana as our base. And then we hired a car and visited places all around that area, and we just had the best time. Come along to see where we went and all of the exciting experiences we had, and obviously all the delicious food we ate. So, firstly, we picked up a hire car and drove down from the airport in Lisbon to Aljezur, and the first thing we did when arriving was explore the amazing Airbnb that we were staying in. Honestly, from the pictures online, I knew that it would be good, but oh my goodness, what a special place. It was located right at the bottom of the cliff on Praia da Arrifana, and it was nestled right on the edge of that beach. And when we got there, the waves were huge. It was loud, it was super windy, and it just felt so raw and wild and natural. And it really is in the nature. It's a really popular beach for surfing. And it was the easiest place in the world to sleep because the sounds of the waves were just so soothing. And honestly, because I live by the water now here in Setúbal and I have a view of the water from my apartment, it's actually really hard to find a beach location place for traveling or going on holiday. So I was really happy when I stumbled across this one. It really is just right on the beach. Like, I don't think you can get a more special location than this. It was also really super well equipped with everything you need to stay for a while. And also the space was a lot bigger than I was expecting. There's 2 double bedrooms and a small twin attic that I think is probably for children. It has a little attic window, and the stars from there were amazing. I like crawled up ladders and had a look. I could stand up fully in there and have my head out the window to look at the stars. It was beautiful. Also, being able to watch the surfers from the windows of the Airbnb and also from the terrace was just the best thing. I have tried surfing many times and it is really not my thing. I'm really scared of going under the water, so it's really not something that I love, but watching people catch the waves is so mesmerizing. I love doing it at sunset when the light is just so beautiful and the waves look so good. Also, it was literally completely silent in the morning. There was only me on the beach running in the mornings, and it was honestly super magical. I loved it. Okay, so Mum, you have to look at the camera.
Sorry.
Okay. We just arrived here in Aljezur at our Airbnb, which is on the sea, right on the sea, as you can see behind us. It is amazing. How do you think it is going, Mum?
It's stunning.
Yeah, it's literally amazing.
Worth the precarious drive down.
Yes, it is.
Expertly done.
Thank you. Thank you. It is a really difficult drive. Like, you are sort of on top of the mountains all the way here. And I was saying in the car, wasn't I? Like, oh my God, we're only 6 minutes away. How are we going to get down to where a beach would be? And actually, it was quite a steep drop. So when you get here, like to the Airbnb, even to this beach, and now we're down here, it's kind of scary to think about walking up, but we've got a car. So we're going to do some exploring. We're going to see the Algarve, and hopefully we're going to discover some new places.
Absolutely.
It's going to be super exciting. Right next to the Airbnb, there is a bar and restaurant called Praia da Arrifana, and I was also really surprised by this place. On the first evening, we didn't want to drive too far because we'd already driven down from Lisbon, so we decided to have dinner there because you can just walk to it from where the Airbnb is, and we ordered a fish soup and the oxtail croquettes and bread, and it was honestly delicious. And the location again is just perfect, like overlooking the beach. I definitely recommend stopping by if you are in the area. The next day, I wanted to plan to see the local areas to Praia da Arrifana, but first, my mum loves to start the day with a coffee. So I found a little place near the Airbnb, about a 5-minute drive, called The Bakery, which was super cute. It had delicious coffee, according to my mum. I don't really drink coffee, but she said it was great, and baked goods. After this, we headed to Praia de Clérigo, I think I'm saying that right, and it was incredibly windy. So we had a quick peep at the beach and took shelter from the sand, like pelting our faces in the wind, in a lovely little cafe called Museu, which was just really relaxed. A lot of the places we visited all across Aljezur and down into the Algarve are on the Fisherman's Trail, which is a, I think, 226-kilometre hike in the southwest of Portugal. And so a lot of the places that we visited were kind of on that trail and popular with hikers. We have free will and we can just stop. So after this, we headed to Odeceixe, a village in the northern part of the municipality of Aljezur in the Portuguese Algarve, and it was a really, really beautiful spot. It's very rural, very peaceful. My mum has some difficulties with her mobility, so she enjoyed the view at the bottom of the town, and I walked up to the little windmill, which I think is Monte de Odeceixe, and it dates back to 1898, and it was closed on this day, but apparently it remains open and in working order, and it's possible to see the process, I think, of corn and wheat milling. And this is actually Odeceixe's main landmark or attraction. You can see loads of the village and the surrounding areas from it. After this, we were super hungry, and I'd found a restaurant called Restaurante Museu da Batata Doce online, and it looked amazing. So we headed there, and honestly, I think this is the best meal that I've had in Portugal. It was incredible. The setting is beautiful. It feels like it's in the middle of nowhere, but then you walk down a little path into like a glorious little garden with loads of tables set up, as well as the inside dining space. And they were actually selling a lot of really cute artisanal products made in the area, such as honey from flowers in Aljezur, and I did buy some and I haven't tried it yet. But the food was literally amazing, 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 amazing. I had roasted lamb and sweet potatoes, and my mum had the oxtail stew, I believe, and sweet potato, and they were both incredible. I actually think this was my favorite meal of the trip, and maybe just ever, and in the most adorable setting. Oh yeah, look Mum, you're a natural at the YouTube. We also got their sweet potato pastries for dessert, and we had them to take away and had them later in the evening with a nice cup of tea before getting cozy for the evening and sleeping like babies after falling asleep to like the sound of the waves and the wind. Glorious. Okay, so I just got back to the Airbnb after quite a busy day in Aljezur and exploring different areas. We managed to see a little bit more actually than I thought we were going to be able to see. Obviously here we're at Praia da Arrifana, and we've got a hire car for this trip, so we were able to go lots of different places, which is really, really fun. So today we went somewhere called Odeceixe. I think I'm pronouncing this correctly because I actually haven't heard it out loud. Only really read it, and that was really nice to explore there. There's a windmill, so we went to have a little look at the windmill. It was beautiful actually, but as you can probably hear / see, it is very, very windy today. I'm really looking forward to a day where it's not so windy like this. But we went to this place on the way back from Odeceixe, Rogil, which is kind of in between Odeceixe and where we're staying here on the beach, and they had this amazing restaurant, the restaurant of the Museum of the Sweet Potato, and the food was incredible. I am so happy that I found this place. Yeah, really good meats, but obviously sweet potato is their thing, so their desserts and stuff have the sweet potato in and use it in lots of different ways. Actually, I have some here that I was just kind of eating as a little afternoon snack, and it is delicious. I can see the sweet potato paste on the inside and the flaky pastry, and it's so delicious. Especially with the tea, obviously. I'm really enjoying it. And I don't know, it's just blissful here today. Like, it's a lot bluer. There was quite a haze yesterday, so it's just been really nice to be able to, chill here. And then tomorrow I think we're going to go to Sagres and Lagos the day after, so we've got a few little exciting plans to do. And so we're going to go and do some more exploring tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to it. The next morning, again, we headed for our coffee morning ritual, and this time we went to a coffee shop that I found called Koyo Speciality Coffees in Aljezur. The coffee was excellent, again, according to my mum, and I had a matcha latte, which was also very delicious. And actually, the environment here was just really cool and aesthetic, and they had loads of flyers from events that were going on in the Aljezur area, which I thought was really cool. After this, we headed to Sagres for the day. We walked a little bit down to the beautiful harbour and stopped for another drink. You might be getting the kind of idea that this trip was heavily coffee fueled and cafe stop based, which it definitely was. We stopped at a place called Tasca, which was beautiful, and it had really great views of the harbour. It was definitely the perfect place just for a little reset before we walked back to the car to drive to Fortaleza de Sagres, which is the fortress of Sagres and is at the southernmost tip of the Sagres Peninsula. Okay, right now I am at the fortress here. You can see some of the buildings behind me. It is super, super windy up here. And it was also raining a little bit, which I was kind of sad about. My mum's just having a little rest, sitting on a bench while I go and explore a little. The views are incredible. It's a really big space here. Like, you can walk for quite a long way and you can see lots of different aspects of the landscape here. This isn't the westernmost point, but we're going to head there after this. But this definitely is a really cool little bit of history. Reading about kind of this being the strategic location in Portugal during the early exploration, in like the 1400s. It's kind of cool to think about. Can't really imagine what that life was like, just looking out into this ocean here and being like, wow, we don't know what's beyond that. It's kind of cool. Been really enjoying looking around. When we visited, it was so windy, but it was really lovely to have a look around. And as usual, for this whole trip, the coastal views from there were just beautiful. Okay, so we are just walking to the other side now of the fortress here. And we were commenting, actually, weren't we, about how there's a lot of new buildings. They've built a lot of new buildings, like a little museum. And Mum would like to talk about the museum.
Well, it's not so little, actually. If you like museums, it's a great place to come to see the history, like the history or not.
Yes, which I do not enjoy, but Mum does really like it. So we did have a little look around the museum. And it's really nice the way they've done it. It's really modern, a little bit interactive. And it's good. It's included in the ticket price, which was, I think, €10 per person, if you're just adult individual.
If it's very windy, it's a nice little escape.
Escape from what?
The attack on the senses of being up high.
I see, the museum, it's nice to go inside. We're here in April and the weather is not super great today. It's like quite a cloudy, windy day, especially in Sagres, where we were in Aljezur. It was actually less windy today than it was yesterday, which has been very nice, but we've just come to another windy place. I guess it is right on the edge of the world, as it were, so maybe it's always windy here. But it is a nice retreat from it in the museum. So we are going to go and explore the rest of this little area, and then that's it. After this, we went for lunch at a really cute little Portuguese restaurant, literally just like a 3-minute drive from the fortress. And this is called Restaurante A Sagres. And I loved the interior here. It was all wooden and brick interior with beautiful terracotta tiles on the floor and really good lighting. And we ordered sea bream and mackerel, and they were both really nice. What I noticed is it's quite hard living in Setúbal and eating fish elsewhere. It just means that I have super easy access here to amazing quality of fish. And I did feel like the quality maybe of the fish here didn't quite match what I eat in Setúbal, but the vibe of the place definitely made up for it, and we had a really great time. Then we drove a short way to Cabo de São Vicente, the southwesternmost point of Portugal and of mainland Europe. Again, this is getting a bit repetitive, as you'll see with the weather. It was very windy, but the views here again were amazing, and we just spent some time soaking it in before heading back to the Airbnb. The next day, we went again to the bakery for a coffee and croissant to start our day before heading to Farol de Ponta da Piedade in Lagos. And we had a little wander around the boardwalk there, and I went down to explore the caves at the bottom, and it was so cool. I was amazed at how blue and beautiful the water was. Of course, we then stopped for a quick coffee right there before heading to our next location. We headed then into Lagos and went for lunch at Adega de Marina, a lovely and huge actually Portuguese diner place, and again with very cool interior, lots of fish options, and the fish here was almost as good as the fish in Setúbal, although I will be forever biased by my love for Setúbal. Finally, the main thing we did after lunch in Lagos was a boat ride to the caves. It started in Lagos and we went past Portimão and Cavoeiro on the boat and saw loads of caves, and the two guys running it was super fun. This was such a good activity and definitely something really good to do with someone with less mobility, because it's seated, it really requires very little movement. Once you're on the boat, you can just enjoy yourselves, and we really loved this experience. After this, we were super satisfied, but of course we needed to have dinner. And so we headed to a restaurant called MÁDÁ back in Aljezur, which is basically a steakhouse. And honestly, it was so beautifully decorated. It was a really good vibe. It had loads of different rooms and outside areas too. We sat in a room with an amazing kind of outdoor-indoor area with small succulents and rocks tucked in there. I ordered the tomahawk steak, of course, and we had sides of vegetables, fries, rice and salad, and it was all just perfect. For dessert, we had a chocolate mousse, and that was also incredible. It had these kind of tiny little chocolate balls on top that just made it perfect. And I really loved this meal. I haven't had steak out in Portugal before, I don't think, and this was a really good place to have it. Again, we headed back to the Airbnb for our final night of a peaceful sleep. The next day, we decided to have a really slow drive back to Setúbal, stopping at a few places along the way, just to visit locations that I haven't seen before and my mum hasn't seen. We stopped briefly at Praia de Zambujeira do Mar to have a look, and this was really beautiful. I'd really like to come back here. Then we stopped in Vila Nova de Milfontes to have a look around, and honestly, I loved it here. Like, it's the river meets the ocean. I love this vibe. And we went to a restaurant called Restaurante Oasis for lunch, which is nestled along the stunning coastline of Praia da Arrifana in Vila de Milfontes. This restaurant is known for its cataplana, a traditional Portuguese seafood stew, I think originating from the Algarve region actually, and it's cooked in this kind of hinged clam-shaped pan of the same name, so cataplana pan. And we had the clam cataplana and it had pork and clams and it was wonderful. It was really different to the type of Portuguese food that I'm used to eating here in Setúbal, so that was really nice to try something different. We made it back to Setúbal at the end of the day, and that was the end of our trip. We just had the most magical time exploring Aljezur and the surrounding areas in the Algarve, and I think we fit a lot in a short time span and still managed to see everything. It was also possible to adapt this whole trip for my mum's mobility, and we just had a really fantastic time. Everything we did, I would highly recommend, especially the Airbnb and the location. It was so well placed to do all these little trips from. But I would love to know, have you ever visited Aljezur or other parts of the Algarve? Maybe you live there. I would love to hear your favourite places and things to do because I'd love to travel more there in the future. Thank you so much for watching and sending you so much love.